We're learning fast that supporting each other's hobbies and interests takes a whole lot of patience, grace, and for Chad, a whole lot of snacks. I'm a runner's wife. Of course, I carry the shoes, the bananas, the electrolytes, the shirts, the snacks, the emotional damage when he doesn't meet his PR, the post-race man-child syndrome that happens when he's limping everywhere and can't even walk up a flight of stairs. And no, I don't even run.
I'm a photographer's husband. Of course, I got to do all the things to get the perfect shot, the right lighting, the right angle, lug all this heavy equipment around, not to mention waiting around all day until golden hour. And many times I can't even eat my dinner until it's lukewarm because all the pictures we got to take at the dinner table. Whatever happened to just taking a photo with a phone?
We're headed to Toledo for Chad to run the Toledo Marathon, and this is not his first marathon. It's not his second marathon. I feel like he ran like about
30 races in general, which are at a lesser distance than a full marathon. But it's my 10th full marathon.
How many half marathons have you run?
Probably about 15 to 20 and some 5Ks in there too. Yeah.
So this is all his medals. Again, we're going to have to find a place in the RV to put these. So if you guys have any recommendations.
This is all I'm bringing to hang on the wall. I don't need anything else.
One of the main things we wanted to talk about in this video is how important it is to support each other's hobbies and interests, even when it's not something that you enjoy, because I know a lot of people in relationships, they complain about what their partner is doing or think that they spend too much money on their hobbies, or they spend too much time away from the family on their hobbies. And what we've learned in our relationship is that letting each other do their own hobbies and giving them the space and the freedom to do that and not complaining about it and nagging about it makes them a better person, right? So the more you're able to support them in doing that and encourage that, as long as it's not overly excessive. I know when we first met, he was playing hockey like 3 times a week and we would never hang out or see each other. So that was a little bit of an issue, but now we've really learned how to support each other and cheer each other on and encourage each other's hobbies.
Yeah, and compliment it too, which is really cool. So obviously Rebecca, she hates running. Nothing excites her about that at all.
Nothing excites me about it whatsoever.
But when I say compliment, I mean, you know, she encourages me, really pushes me in situations where I'm not moving towards my potential. She always knows I'm making excuses. She cooks amazing, healthy meals. You know, she really champions different areas of health and wellness and recovery. As a team, you know, I feel like you really help drive this stuff home for me, which is really cool. As opposed to, like you said, nagging and all this stuff that a lot of couples do, you support it. And I think it's really important that, you know, when you're doing these hobbies, that you do it in a way that also respects the time and that we spend together too. So, you know, I usually run early in the morning and I get it all done and then we spend the whole day. The problem when we used to play hockey, you know, when I used to play hockey 3, 4, or 5 times a week, is they'd be every time in the evening when we're home. We'd normally be hanging out. So it'd be like pretty much every evening I'm just like never home. And so, I mean, that's difficult, I think, for any relationship.
Yeah. And I think that goes to the compromising as well, as like I give you the space to do your running because it does take a lot of time and commitment to put in the effort that he's been putting in. And also too, the reciprocal aspect of that, where you don't overdo it and you do it at times that don't affect what we want to do together. So I think that that's really important. But, you know, I know a lot of couples get annoyed by each other's hobbies, and just because it's not something that they're into, they don't understand it, or they think that they spend too much money on it. For me, my biggest hobby is photography. So I could spend hours doing photography, and he helps. He comes along with me to a lot of photo shoots that I do. He's my
husbanding.
He's my assistant a lot of the time for photo shoots, carrying my gear and helping me set up different shots. And so that takes a lot of time as well. And it takes a lot of patience too, because when we're traveling, and I want to pull over every, you know, few kilometers.
So here's what we realize. This is the key. Okay. As long as I'm not hungry.
Yes.
And we're not on the way to dinner making multiple stops to take pictures at everything and anything under the sun. Then I'm okay.
Yeah. I've learned
my patience. So basically there's like a scale, right? So if I just ate, my patience is like, I have huge patience, right?
Yes.
And slowly the time gap between my last meal to the next one, the patience level and impatience starts happening. See what I mean? And so you just keep me well fed and I'm good to go.
That's what I've noticed. So I make sure when we leave the house that you have snacks, just like a toddler would have snacks in a sippy cup. I make sure that you are set with your snacks. I'm like, did you bring your Cliff Bars? Did you bring some bananas? Like, we got to come prepared here. I need to make sure that my husband is prepared for snacks, because it just makes the experience more enjoyable for everybody being us. One of the things that we do before Chad goes out and runs a marathon is what is called carb loading. And so we're making spaghetti right now with rice noodles, because spaghetti with rice noodles is far superior than regular noodles, and I'm gluten-free and I just love rice noodles better. Tell everybody what carb loading is.
Yeah, so carb loading is basically the process of loading your body up with carbs to get the highest level of glucose stores in your body for when you're running. So when you run distances typically greater than an hour and a half or longer, which I'll definitely be out there running 42 kilometers or 26 miles.
For what, you're aiming for a 3 hour
3 hours. And marathon. So I need to put as much carbohydrates, which turn into glucose in your body, and really build that up over the course of the next couple days leading up to the race, so that when it goes to deplete that, then it'll actually have, energy for fuel as my body is kind of breaking down later in the race.
Yeah, and for me, I just get to take advantage of the carb loading part, which I'm not really complaining about too much, so. Just getting ready to head out now, and we want to see that all of these bags are Chad's, except for these 2 bags here. So for once, for one night, Chad is being more high maintenance than I am, which is usually not the case, but he's got a lot of race stuff, electrolytes, snacks, protein stuff, all the things. Okay, we're all loaded up and ready to go. But first, and most importantly, we need to get Starbucks. Hi there, how are you?
Good, how are you doing? Can I get a grande decaf Americano black? Can I also get a grande Pike Place black? Thank you. Thank you. We're about 30 minutes outside of the Windsor-Detroit border. They have a tunnel and a bridge. And we're on our way to Toledo to run my marathon. So we're going to pick up my race kit, which usually has my bib for racing. And I'm really excited about that. We're going to Jersey Mike's for lunch. Which is great for carb loading.
They have a really good gluten-free option, which I really love because I'm gluten-free, and it tastes like normal bread. It's so good, so I'm really excited about that. This is Chad's 3rd time running the Toledo Marathon, so he really likes it because it's a flat course and he knows it really well.
Mission sub 3, less than 3 hour marathon tomorrow is the goal. So
yeah, because for the viewers that don't know, in order to be able to run the Boston Marathon, which is like the pinnacle of marathons, you have to actually qualify for it and be able to run under a certain amount of time for your age group. So I know when I first learned about that, I thought it was absolutely insane that they have to do that to limit the amount of people, because I'm like, how do that many people actually want to run a freaking marathon? Like, I just couldn't really wrap my head around it. But the reason why they do that is because they can only have so many people, and there's so many people that actually want to do it. So we made it across the border, and it's Chad's favorite part. It's lunchtime. We're at Jersey Mike's right now, and we're excited. We haven't been here for, since
it's been a while. Best sub place.
We're in the States. And
they do have them in Canada now, but
they didn't have gluten-free though last time when I checked. Now we're on our way to go pick up the race kits for Chad's race. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you're going to be able to qualify for the Boston Marathon?
9.
Why? Why not a 10?
The reason it's not a 10 is because I'm not 100% healthy. I've been dealing with an Achilles injury in my heel, which I know is
Sounds
probably
like an excuse.
I'll probably feel it at some point, but I'm aware that I'm going to push through and do whatever it takes.
Good morning. It is about 6:30 a.m. I'm just getting out of bed now, and Chad has already started his marathon. It started at 6:30 a.m., so he took an Uber over to the start line, and I'm going to get ready here and go and meet him at the finish line. So send him all the positive vibes right now because he's really, really hoping to finish this marathon in 3 hours or less, because that means he'll be able to qualify and go and run the Boston Marathon next year. I'm going to get up, get out of bed. I just started my coffee Keurig here. This will have to do for the meantime until I can make it to Starbucks for some real coffee. Okay, I am at the parking lot now. The hardest part of my day is over with because I found parking and I got my Starbucks. So I'm a happy girl. And I do get some decent anxiety when I have to go by myself to an event and find parking. I don't know what it is, but it just creates a lot of anxiety for me because there's so many cars everywhere. I'm not familiar with the area. Luckily, there's lots of places here to park, which was super good. I was happy to see that when I drove in here because it's chaotic. But now I have to remember where I parked. Luckily, this is the same parking lot that I parked in last year, but we got lost last year finding it. So I have to really remember how I get to the stadium so that I can get us back, because after Chad has run like 40 something kilometers at such a high speed, he's not going to be happy with me if he has to walk around in circles for extra kilometers today. So I'm going to be very vigilant and aware of my surroundings so I can get us back to the car safely. It's a beautiful day. Look at the sun. Oh my gosh. The sunshine filtering through. Oh my gosh, I love it. So pretty. I'm going to go get a spot in the stadium now so I can get to the finish line and see Chad crossing. Let's go. Made it to the stadium right now. This is the atmosphere. Super fun. Anyways, Chad called me during his marathon. That's never a good sign. So when I see him on my caller ID, I was like, uh-oh, where am I going to have to go and pick him up? But he called to say that his ankle's not doing so well. He's been kind of struggling with that, a little bit of that injury leading up to this race, which is very common when you are running such high mileage every single week training. It's really important to show up uninjured to your race day. So he knew that that could have been an issue, and it seems to be an issue today, unfortunately. So he called and he asked if I think that he should finish it or end now. And I told him he should probably finish it if it's not going to severely injure his ankle. So we'll see what his time is. It's not looking good unless he finds a second win there or his ankle stops bothering him, but we'll see what his time is and see how he does.
Chad Hamilton out of Tolstenburg. First time marathoner out of Ann Arbor.
Okay, we're back in the car now. I found where I parked this year. Yay me. And I found my husband. So what happened?
Yeah, it didn't work out. I could blame everybody under the sun, but I take full responsibility. So yeah, I didn't qualify for Boston, unfortunately.
It goes to show like actually how hard it is, because you put in so much work in training.
So much work training all winter long.
And you're in such good shape as well. So it like really does go to show like how much
I've been at this for almost 3 years now. And like I said, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep fighting. That's my achiever, competitive spirit. But yeah, I called Rebecca about 24 kilometers in, and I was like, listen, my Achilles, like I can feel it. Like it wasn't the reason why I was thinking about dropping out, because my fitness felt, I injured my Achilles. So I haven't been able to run properly the last 3 weeks. I've been trying to nurse that injury so that I can make it to the start line. So I called Rebecca. I'm like, listen, I think I don't know if I should drop out, because I didn't want to, like, it's not about finishing necessarily for me at this point. I ran 10 marathons, yeah, you get a medal, fine. But obviously the big goal is Boston. So I knew that wasn't going to be the reality. So I didn't want to prolong this injury anymore and get right back at it, in the coming weeks, right? If I mess up the injury even more, I could be sidelined for months. So that was my thinking. But she's like, no, I just finished. Like at this point, I'm not going to be running another full marathon until the fall. So I got lots of time to heal up. And so that was what happened first. And then
then what happened?
There's more. So, and then, what happened next was at about 30 kilometers in, there's a place where the half marathon and the full marathon break off. And the lady told me to go right. She thought I was part of the half marathon, even though my bib is blue and the half marathon's red. So she made a mistake, but I don't fault her, because normally I yell at them like full this way. Like I didn't do that, because obviously I knew this wasn't really for anything at this point. So I ended up running about 5-6K in the wrong direction. I flagged the cop down who's directing traffic, helping out. And he's like, yeah, man, do not continue to go this way, because you're going the wrong way. Like you got to go backtrack, like basically 5-6K. So I was like, shit. And so at this point, I knew I was going to be running way longer than a marathon to get back, or I was just going to walk back or have Rebecca pick me up. And then I thought to myself, hey, I have an amazing attitude. Let's make the best of this. Let's do my first ever 50K ultra. So if you don't know, an ultra marathon is any race or any run longer than a marathon, which is 42.2K. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to run my first ever 50K. And that's what I did. 4 hours and 10 minutes. First ever ultra, silver lining. I didn't qualify for Boston, but I ran the furthest I've ever ran in my life. So
yeah,
there we go.
Pretty impressive, considering you called me like 20K in saying that you were not feeling that
halfway.
Good.
So that would have been, I ran double that when I called you.
Yeah, that's super impressive.
Yeah.
We're at IHOP right now, and I'm going to try their gluten-free pancakes that they have, which is awesome, because we love to travel in the States, and IHOP is pretty much everywhere. So it's always nice to know when you have a gluten-free option that you can go to for breakfast. Chad's already eating. How is it?
Great. Fantastic.
Awesome. So I'll let you know how they are. We just finished up in IHOP, and definitely would recommend the gluten-free pancakes. They were so good. And I love pancakes. Pancakes are in my top 3 for favorite foods. Chad thinks I'm crazy because he's not that big into pancakes, but I freaking love pancakes. Now, the only thing that would make them better is real maple syrup. However, I understand that is a Canadian thing, and we're used to that. So other than that, though, the pancakes themselves are really good. And so I'm really happy to have a great gluten-free option when we're traveling in the States. It's really nice because it can be hard to find, and it's nice when it's we like to try unique places, not necessarily chains, but it is always nice to have chains that like I love Chipotle as well, and we love Jersey Mike's, and some of the steakhouses and stuff. It's just nice to know that when you're in a pinch, you can count on going to those places. So.
Supporting each other's hobbies isn't always the most convenient. It's not always the most fun. We're not always in the mood to do it for each other, but we try to show up as best as we can.
Yeah, we just got to make it happen. I mean, these are the things in any relationship that if you're going to make it work, you got to keep plugging away.
Well, and I think it's really important too for people to recognize that the more happy you are individually as a person by pursuing your hobbies and interests, the better you show up as a better wife, as a better friend, as a better whatever you are to whoever it is. You just show up as a better person overall when you are given that space and that freedom to really enjoy your hobbies and not feel like it's a burden or an inconvenience to your partner.
Yeah, I mean, happy wife, happy life. I guess that's what they say. Things happen.
Happy wife, happy life. What about happy husband when I'm sitting at your marathon for like 3 hours waiting for you to cross the finish line?
I made her wait longer than she should have because of how fast I did not run.
Right.
And so anyway, yeah.
So don't be happy wifing me. That's okay, absolutely,
we'll give you that.
Yeah.
We'll give you that. So yeah, I didn't qualify for Boston. Back to the drawing board. Got to keep training throughout this summer, and so I'll be signing up for another race in the fall, and hopefully that will be the goal reached once and for all. It's been about 2.5 years at this, but it's only been 2 races that I've actually tried to go for it. Yeah. The ones before that, I was nowhere even near this goal. It was a very slow burn.
Our channel is so new, so it's very, very helpful if you could hit the subscribe button and leave a comment and like the video, give it a thumbs up, so we can keep creating more content for you guys. We've really been enjoying it. It's been super fun. And we want to know, what is something that your spouse does, like a hobby or an interest that you have zero interest in, that's super, it might be annoying to you, it might just be bizarre. Like, what is something that your spouse is into that you're not into, and how do you go about supporting them through that?
Yeah, maybe they're the arm wrestling champion of their neighborhood. I don't know.
Or a professional poker, chess player, pool player. I don't know. What are some other odd hobbies that you can think of?
I don't know, anything. But yeah, how do you do it? What do you do? Do you just kind of make it happen so that
taxidermy? That's what I just tuned
taxidermy. Yeah, like that place
that
in town.
That would be weird. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I could
cheese and taxidermy. There's a weird store in our outside of our town, and it says cheese and taxidermy.
I don't want to know how those two things like combine into one. I really don't.
That's what they're selling. So I'm not buying. They may be selling. I'm not buying. But yeah, if you guys could subscribe, we'd really appreciate it. Because our channel is new, we need likes and comments to allow the algorithm to put it out to more people. So we really appreciate all your love and support. And yeah, we're excited to continue doing this each week. So stay tuned.
And now it's time to get Chad back out on the road and get him to go run. Get going. Gotta go.